Hello, all. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed and/or were terrified by our hold music. It was Kevin MacLeod's "Eternal Tribunal," "Eternal something." I'm gonna find this because now that it's eternal, I'm realizing that was on my brain uh, when we were picking our immortal leaders. Um, "Eternal Terminal" is what we were just listening to by Kevin MacLeod. So yeah, now we're making characters, right?
Yeah. All right. So the first thing you do is characters, and this is pretty much the only super permanent decision that you'll make. Is characters fall into one of three different souls, and these are kind of where you draw your power from, how you connect with the world. And then as a player, when I'm asking questions and doing more world building, I'll kind of go to people based on their souls first, even though everyone can chip in. So the first one are the cyber souls. So you focus on technology with skills in inventing and modifying items. So I should add that each of these have their own sort of crafting skills you can get. Magic souls focus on the supernatural with professional skills in forbidden arts and rituals. Mortal souls focus on adaptation with professional skills in raising a magical animal and crafting remedies from plants. So,
Lit.
Sweet.
Sorry. It's very on brand. I'm into it.
About it. Yeah.
so you want at least when you have three or more players, you want at least one in each soul. So we'll have at least two people can double up, and that won't cause much crossover in abilities because I think each soul has. I should not do math on stream. 9 times 4 special abilities that you can get. So there's a lot that you can customize as you go.
Cool.
Nice. I have a strong inclination towards a cyborg template. I've been wanting to play a cybered up person. I want hidden compartments in my arms and legs. I want wild bio/cyberware. Yeah, I'm feeling that. I definitely could go with another one as well if someone else is Lily Jones for that. But that's the direction I'm feeling.
Cool. I'm into it. That definitely fulfills a great function within like our job as couriers too.
Yeah.
Sean wants to be Inspector Gadget. That's really funny.
Yeah.
And then a helicopter appeared out of his head.
Right.
I mean, if you got a compartment for it, right? Like,
I want to be Inspector Shoots him up. I want to have. Yeah. I mean, no, we're gonna deliver things. We're not causing mayhem. We didn't pick hit and run.
But... Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's fine. But if you had, you could have helicoptered at them.
I'm imagining Cable and Hella Pockets. Thank you, Ken. Yes. Cable with Hella Pockets.
Yep.
Nice.
Into it.
Great Inspector Gadget reboot.
So Brian, I know you've played a number of different characters. Do you have a soul you want to take a run at this time?
The only one I haven't played is Magic, but with kind of the courier, I'm leaning more towards the producer virtual artist now. So I could go either way, I think.
Beyond anything pops up in you?
I mean, like, as it is very on brand to me that I'm really drawn to Magic personally. I'm also going to be playing Wolf Spell at some point later this month, and I kind of don't want to be like redundant weirdly, so I might actually, I was looking at the Broker, which I think is a mortal soul.
The Broker's a cyber soul, I think.
Is it?
No, it's a mortal one.
Oh, okay. Sorry, never mind.
That's okay.
I think.
Yeah. I kind of want to like break type a little bit, maybe. I just the Magic Soul sounds so cool. Yeah. I don't know. Sorry, go ahead, Cass.
I was gonna say if we do keep playing, you can get up to 2 abilities from another soul. So if you wanted to be like a broker who later dabbled in magic, that is definitely possible.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Is anyone other than Sean like really strongly drawn to like a particular like kind of either soul or even like character archetype?
I'm pretty loose. I mean, I see like a tremendous amounts of ideas in a lot of these playbooks. I think
Yeah,
Mm.
there's a lot of potential in each of them.
totally.
While you guys take a look, maybe for chat, because that is the next step, is then you choose your archetype. I can just kind of
Right.
run them through for people. So archetype, the main thing it does is you pick from a couple different XP triggers, and those are set by your archetype. And then you also get special equipment, and it affects your starting special ability. But once you get advancements, you're just limited to your soul, not your archetype. So the different ones, cyber souls, you can have a tech jockey, which is all about befriending and working with machines. A virtual artist is about sort of manipulating the feed and controlling perception with it. Cyborg, kind of self-explanatory. Magic souls, there's the wise one who uses planet-born magic and is all about negotiating with magic when it wants to use it. The occultist was how magic was sort of co-opted by the off-worlders, and it's very scientific and analytical, and it's all about controlling magic to do things. And then the mystic is all about using magic for sort of self-improvement and shaping yourself. Mortal Souls, the broker, is all about networking and manipulating people. The shadow is all about infiltrating and vanishing and being kind of undetected. And then the drifter uses sort of illegal substances from before the quarantine to amplify their abilities and is all about kind of being a rebel and an outlaw.
I think I'm at this point I'm choosing between like the wise one or the broker probably. So if someone else has like a strong preference for one of those, then I can be flexible and go with the other.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with a lot of actually choices here. So
Yeah.
too many choices. Yeah, it's one of those problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all really, really cool.
Yeah, I feel like you would really do the wise one very well, but I agree. Since you'll be playing Wolf Spell, I could see if you like. I feel like you'll kill at it, but I don't want to.
Mhm.
I don't want to like. It's called when actors like box themselves.
Typecast.
I don't know,
or
typecast.
pigeonhole.
you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Ah, but they're both so cool. Let me take a look at both their sheets one more time.
And actually, I can pop. I think I put in some of the like archetype sort of starting sheets, so I can make some of those visible.
Okay.
So this is the broker. There's going to be a lot. Sorry, you guys are going to have to close them. I just didn't want to
It's all good.
clutter everything. And then the wise one. So you can see like the XP triggers on
For
this
sure,
and some of the
yeah.
equipment.
That'll actually be helpful.
Sean, I'll get you the cyborg, and then if anyone else has a specific one they want me to show, I can do that. Craig, is there any of them you want me to show up for you?
I'm looking through the PDF right now. So it's kinda just
Okay.
like,
Yeah, they're in there too.
Brian, which one did you say you wanted to do again?
I'm kind of leaning toward virtual artist right now.
That's a cool one, I think.
I'll go ahead and pop that one too. I feel like you would do some very creative things with that.
Mm. Oh, they get a flashy vehicle. Yep, that's what I want to do. Oh,
Ah, this is so hard.
Craig, what was the one that you were looking at again? Or are you still
I'm torn between like either the Magic Soul or the Mortal Soul. So
Okay.
the same conundrum that Gianna's in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I'll decide mine based on what she picks. You know, if she picks the magic one. then
No,
I'll do the other one.
I
Oh,
can't
all the pressure's
choose.
on you, Gian.
No. Ah, fuck.
Gian, I'm gonna throw out an idea, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can either be like, yeah, that totally resonates with me, or reject
Totally.
it. I'm gonna suggest that you be the broker because I feel like talking to people is gonna be a really important part of this game, no matter what. And
That's
I feel like
true.
you conveying the significance of what we're doing and like having the mechanics back you up and like empower you to do that in a meaningful way will be like satisfying. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was leaning toward the broker again because it's kind of against type. And also it'll get me, it'll help with your patience and indulgence cast and like by extension everyone else. It'll gain me a lot of familiarity with like the deep mechanics of this game, which I tried to like really absorb reading the playbook, but that's not a strength of mine as a role player. Playbook absorption of mechanics is like hard for me. I have to learn by playing. And I think that being that skin, like the character skin where like I have to talk to a lot of people and like network and establish or use relationships will like help me acquaint myself with the mechanics.
If I
Or-
can add, you
Mhm.
also get luxury items, so you can just describe
Ooh.
fashion when you want to be in something awesome.
Ooh, okay.
there you go. That done. Okay, we all want to play the broker now.
Right.
Cool. Yes, I'll go with a Mystic Soul then.
Cool, yeah.
How it works.
But that'll be good if you guys ever get parkour also. All right, so I think we've got a broker, a mystic, a virtual artist, and a cyborg. That's a pretty well-rounded group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to find a link.
Describe fashion at will. Yeah, that's a pretty sweet. That's a pretty sweet superpower right there.
Agreed. So you guys can go ahead and you can see that the characters are labeled with the archetypes. You can just claim the one that's yours. And the first thing you do is you pick your XP triggers. So these are things that when you do them in play, you get XP. And you can see it on your archetype form is the two different lists. And as it says, you'll pick 2 methods. So this is kind of like how you like to tackle obstacles. And then 1 interest. So something that your character's interested in doing.
Okay.
And on the character sheet, if you scroll down to the bottom, sort of on that bottom left, you can see a place to type in those things.
Got it. Can you said that on the character sheet there was a thing we had to do? We had to click on the gear icon and then do something else to fill them in.
We'll do that at the end because that's once you've picked your action dots. You have to like physically set what your attribute is. So
Got it.
once you know your actions, we'll do all the gear stuff at the end because there's a couple
Got it,
housekeeping things.
Oh boy. Okay, this is definitely my weak suit as a player, just figuring out character sheet everything.
Right. Well, I think for right now, just look at that handout at the broker and figure out what method and interest you want to have, and then
For sure.
and filling it out is we can.
Template.
You can also roll 1d6 if you're feeling indecisive.
Sure, yeah.
So there's, for chat, for example, the broker, the 6 methods are charm, intimidation, misdirection, sympathy, teamwork, or negotiation. So she'll pick 2 of those that
Two
are
of
kind
those,
of her
yeah.
character's approach to obstacles.
Yeah, I'll grab a d6 and then see how I like feel about what I roll. Give me
Yeah.
1 second to
You
grab
can
it off my
roll
sheet.
in roll 20.
What the hell? Are you
mean-
for real?
I mean, it is called.
Oh my god, it's right there. Sorry, this is probably very obvious to literally everyone but me. That's fucking weird. That's so cool. Okay, then. Oh, it makes a little noise every time I click it.
Yeah, you get a satisfying little whoop.
It's very odd. I don't see where the number is showing up.
It's in. If you go to up at the very top right now, where you're on journal, and if you click
Okay,
on the 2 little dialogue things, it'll go to chat, and you'll see the results of all your rolls.
Uh,
Upper right hand.
yep. That's me rolling it 6 times, not knowing what's going on. I see it now.
It's all good.
Great. There's 6
Oh.
straight. So
All good.
I rolled it 5 times. Let's roll one more time. Oh shoot, that's a D4. There you go. Great. It's not very often, I think, that people stream a learning curve in real time, but you're welcome, guys.
But here we are.
Here we are. Okay. Charm. Fourth one. Damn, I'm like, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Cass.
Oh, I was just to say, for those who've finished picking your XP triggers, you can kind of just follow the handout and let me know if you run into questions on anything.
And we're choosing 2 from each list, both method and interest. Is that right?
Just one interest.
Oh,
So
just
2
one interest.
methods and
2
then one
methods,
interest.
Got it.
Oh, my mouse is stuck on the screen. Oh, no.
Well, I rolled a couple times, and it really seems like the dice want me to solve things with Rampage.
Hey, you didn't take sustainable, so
Yeah, exactly.
A rampaging cyborg is pretty. That's powerful.
Yeah,
Powerful.
I feel like that's a. I think I'm gonna choose honesty and rampage as my methods.
I feel like that makes you one of those people who are like, I'm not here to make friends, just to win.
Yes. And I'm all about pushing my limits. That fits nicely.
There's something really appealing looking at the methods in the broker, just going by what I rolled, like with pairing charm and intimidation, but that's like a very individualist pairing of methods, and I wonder if I should choose something a little more team oriented.
It's a lot of it comes in. You'll have a challenge. You'll decide, how you're going to respond to it, and a lot of it comes not like this. A lot of it comes in the way you approach the challenges that you're faced with, rather than the particular challenges. We'll probably be stuck with the same problems as a team, no matter what. But how we might respond to them.
Got it. Okay, cool.
And one of the things that you'll sort of see in the mechanics is there's different teamwork roles. So you could be like charming someone while the rest of the team is sneaking by, or different things like that.
Sure. Wow, people are really into your rampage, Sean. I think you chose well.
I think people are feeling it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to show my inspiration right now, Daryl Philbin from The Office.
Fuck yeah, Daryl's the best. Yes.
That's
really embracing this as a template.
Yeah, just Daryl with lots of chrome.
There you go. Oh yeah. Are you as good at smooth jazz as Daryl Philbin?
I hope so, man.
Well, maybe I should start with interest.
Daryl mixed with Cable, be terrified. Yeah, that's it, Ken. Two friends are texting me, you need to be watching Titan games right now. And I'm like, I'm on the stream, like, watch Titan game. Okay, I'm on it. I will.
It's
No.
cool. I was texting a friend who I work with, like, oh man, I may be role playing this character who's like really attuned to the natural world and like can talk to animals and like uses plants for medicine. And he was like, isn't that what you already do? Why would you role play that? That's so boring.
Yep.
It was very funny.
All right. So how are folks with XP triggers? Are we
I think I've got mine.
cool?
I'm going to. Okay.
Yeah. And I write that down in my template. Is that right? XP trigger.
Yeah. So yeah, in your broker template, on the character sheet tab, if you scroll to the bottom, it'll say enter your playbook methods here and enter your specific interest here, and you can just click and type over that.
Okay. Scroll to the bottom, gather information.
Oh, right above gather information.
Oh, okay. Mark XP.
Mhm. The second and third bullet point in that list.
Got it. So address to challenge with, and then methods and interests. There we go. Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Cruddy Fruger 47 says Daryl is awesome, but can he sell like Dwight Schrute? I don't think I need to sell like Dwight Schrute. I think Gian is.
Am I Dwight Schrute?
I think Gian is going to be Dwight.
Oh, amazing.
I'm just saying, there's a broker. Doesn't need to be Daryl.
So the next thing you do is you pick your starting build. So back on that archetype sheet, so how the game works is as you advance, you'll get special abilities that basically let you change the fiction or break normal rules or kind of do specific things. And these are organized into something called disciplines. So over the game, you'll pick 2 disciplines that each come with their own collection of special abilities. So you pick a discipline and then one of the starting builds under it. So like the broker, for example, can be a commander, and that's all about kind of leadership and protecting. An ex-celebrity, which is all about kind of famous, being formerly famous and using your reputation and things like that. Or the wordsmith, that's the one who attacks with their words and charms with their words and is very sort of the art of speech.
Yeah.
So then you can see under that there's a build, and it just, the first 2 things, it tells you how many dots to put in those actions.
So if you're the commander, you could be an athlete or a PR specialist. If you're the ex-celebrity, you could be a child star or a
local act. And then wordsmith, it's activist or muckraker, and that's for every character archetype has these 3.
So many choices.
Yes. If you want to like kind of maybe cheat, you can just look at it lists special ability. So if you want to look at what like the starting special abilities are, maybe one of those will appeal to you more.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably the thing that like is gonna jazz me the most. Like, what's the cool power? What's the cool special ability?
Yeah.
Yep. And so you can see, you can either go to the PDF or under that archetypes, there's the discipline special ability. And those handouts list all of them, so you can kind of see them for easy reference.
What the fuck? Eviscerate is a special ability for wordsmith? That's amazing.
I think that's the drop the mic ability.
Yeah, damn.
Where is it? Where are the special abilities in the handout? Sorry, you just said it, but I'm looking at the archetypes, but that just has the name of them.
The subfolder under that is discipline special abilities.
Got it.
I actually didn't know there were subfolders till I was organizing for this game.
Oh, I'm glad you found it, because yeah, they're great for. You've got so much going on here.
Let's see. Example builds, broker.
Yeah, if Titan Games is like Beastmaster, then I will be all over it. We watched Beastmaster in any language that is not in the USA, because the second season USA commentators are terrible. I don't know why.
I'm actually not sure what Titan Games is. I'm really looking forward to Googling this later.
Yeah. It's like Ninja Warrior.
Oh, sick. Soapbox.
Okay.
Legacy. I'm not seeing 2 special abilities on my broker sheet.
So for your broker archetype,
okay, never mind. I found them just now. My bad.
Okay. Yeah.
my bad.
Yes.
Cool.
The +2 means we get 2 dots, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And so to kind of just walk through what the build does is there's the name and then there's the sort of mandatory actions that it lists. So like the commander has maneuver 2, assault 1, the special abilities, the commander's legacy. And then it lists additional actions and later we'll be adding more dots and those are optional, like suggestions, but you don't have to follow them.
Got it.
We'll go over that when we get to it, but just so you don't keep reading and get confused what those are there for.
Sure.
Okay, chat. Help me out here. Neuroflex, increasing action by +1d. Pretty cool. You could go with something like maneuver. I assume maneuver is like physically running around like Prowl is in Blades. Is that?
It's physical movement, so it can be running around and jumping, but it can also be like non-lethal combat. So if you want to be like doing judo and sort of taking someone down,
Nice.
be that.
So Neuroflex into maneuver. I'm about that. Sonic amplifier. An implant projects sonic frequencies, which can be set to distract or relax. Okay, there's my smooth jazz right there.
Yup.
Just say.
That's so fucking good.
I haven't even gotten to Cyber Limbs yet, which is where I was originally thinking.
This is the role-playing game equivalent of when you start saying a phrase as a joke and then you start actually just saying it in sincerity all the time.
Yep. Cyber pouch. There we go. Cable plus pouches.
Special abilities. Where's special abilities on the template? There we go. Add ability name.
Oh my god, telescoping body you can extend. I literally could be Inspector Gadget.
That's lit. That's so good.
How many of these special abilities do we get? 1, right?
Mhm.
I'm so sad because I want like 7. I want like all of them.
Well, if you rampage a lot, you'll get new ones very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. I think I have to work up to smooth jazz, and I'm going to go with mods of the cyber pouch to carry 2 hidden load in an artificial body cavity, which is exactly what I was like saying I was all about. And
Nice.
then is it hunter within a retractable elite weapon installed in your body, or jump jets? A quick burst you can lift you 5 meters tall or slow a fall. Who doesn't want jump jets?
Pretty fun.
That does sound really fun.
So now I have to figure out which archetype starts with mod or starts with yeah.
I think it's Bionic Doc in that.
Bionic Doc. Awesome.
Okay, so Cass, can you explain something to me?
Mm-hmm.
The soapbox special ability, it says spend stress equal to an NPC's relevance to sway them to your team's ideal. As long as you act within your ideal, they will act as an expert for you. How does that work? How does that play out within game?
Yeah, so that would be you kind of push yourself to convince this person that they should also believe in anarchy and challenge authority. And then they're going to basically help you out and they can do roles for you or add to your rules as a group, as long as you keep acting in line with anarchy. As soon as you like do what someone tells you to do, they'll be like, oh, you don't really care about this, and they'll take off.
Got it. Cool.
So the relevance thing is, if there are 3 relevance, which is the highest, then it takes more, you have to invest more stress into like swaying them.
Yeah.
But if there's someone who's like kind of really low on social status, then they'll just follow along with you, basically.
Cool.
So I always want to choose the most complicated option possible, Cass. It looks like mod is a single ability, but you get 2 of the 4 options, right?
I believe so, but I am going to reread it because that ability has changed. Yep. So each time you upgrade it, you get to pick 2 of them. So you could be Inspector Gadget with a pouch.
Yep.
You only get 1 of these, huh?
So hard.
It's real hard. Oh man, I really like eviscerate, and it's like not useful for us. Like we're trying to be somewhat diplomatic, or at the very least like not get noticed, and like fucking that, like if my superpower is deep cuts, like I don't know how great that would be for our team.
I mean, hold on. It's a power.
Yeah, so it's your words cut like blades. Spend one stress to use an ego action in place of assault against sentient targets in hearing range.
I
So
mean,
it's like
I
if
think
I
it's
talk,
actually
yeah,
yeah, I think it's actually really applicable because
yeah,
what we don't want to do is actually do physical violence because that's way more
sure.
trackable to us. But if you just like cut someone down and like say like, listen, you piece of shit, let us in. Otherwise, I will get you in so much goddamn trouble. You'll be digging yourself out of shit for the rest of your life. Then that doesn't necessarily stick to us as badly as say clocking them over the head.
There's something really appealing about the idea of shit talking having like a tangible advantage in this way.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm just gonna go for it.
I
Yeah.
think you just do it. Yeah.
because I mean, part of the assault action is you're wrecking something, and so you're just like wrecking their ego or
Yeah, I'm just
their
wrecking
confidence.
them.
Mhm.
Boom.
What got wrecked? Your face.
Mhm.
So eviscerate is tied to the muckraker
Yeah.
prototype. So
Rather than I was leaning toward the activist initially, but that's just like a real good special ability. So I'm gonna go for it.
I mean, do the thing that's fun.
Yeah. Perform.
Craig and Brian, where did you guys land for builds?
I went with crisis consultant because I like the ability.
Which one does that do?
Post production, you can use the operate to splice, remix, and add info into the feed.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
That's rad.
Try
That is
really
nice.
hard not to just describe Adobe products.
I mean, we're leaning pretty hard. Our
Yeah.
world looks like Red Rock. Our fashion looks like Force Awakens. And we're all the crew from the Scranton office of Dunderville.
I mean, yeah.
Uh,
Great.
Oh man.
yes. And that's something, so that power kind of highlights like normal people can't edit the feed. They can just like maybe hide stuff or distract from it. So you have the ability to actually go in and edit it. And then Craig, what did you land on?
I went with the flow one, and then I went with explorer. I figure, yeah, couriers can travel a lot.
Yes. And what does Skyway do?
I think it lets me walk up walls and not get hurt if I fall, which is a good thing. I hope
Seems useful.
Yeah.
falling hurts. Yeah.
Yeah. As
Yeah.
a courier, you're just like, I'll walk up that wall.
Yeah. Would you like one of the things I took was jump jets, which also kind of gives me the ability to, jump up large distances. Would you rather me take a different thing so we didn't have sort of an overlapping, mobility thing? I mean, they're not synonymous, but I could see those two things sort of standing in place of each other.
That'd be like a cool combo, like we both go up the wall.
Yeah, I'm about it. If that sounds cool to you,
that sounds
I
really
just
cool
I just
to me.
don't want to like be Thunder Stealing and be like, yeah, that was my
No, that sounds really dope. Like a
awesome.
I like that a lot.
I think it feels like it like speaks to our tenaciousness if we have specific like powers and abilities that like help us get to places that are difficult to get to and that we can travel out to.
Yeah, and to that
Yeah.
end, Cass, I actually have a couple questions about like the traits within special abilities because I'm like second guessing myself a little bit, which is under the wordsmith, what is it, not template, archetype, under the wordsmith build, there's under activist, there's additional actions, analyze, operate, and stealth. And then under muckraker, there's analyze, sight, and mingle. Can you kind of explain what those three things or those four things do?
Yeah. So do you want to know what the actions do or kind of
Yeah.
when you, okay. Yeah. So, let's see. So analyze is about, it's one of the Cortex skills, and it's about really kind of applying in some ways like a scientific mind to things. So saying like, what does this do? Predicting patterns, and kind of thinking about it very like empirically and sort of with equations and that kind of thing. And operate is about using technology or equipment in either innovative or unusual or sort of expert ways. So the real world I think of is like lots of people can type in Word, not everyone can make forms in Word. So operate is that like, hey, I have equipment and I can make it do cool things.
Cool.
And stealth is, you know, sneaking, disguising. Let's see. And mingle is about basically making friends, socially blending with the crowd, improving relationships. So it's a very like non-hostile way of interacting with people.
Yeah, okay. Non-hostile. What about sight?
Yeah, so sight is about, a lot of it is about memory and pre-learned information. And let me see. Actually, yeah, so relying on memory and academic thinking, recalling specific memories, referencing details. I can actually pop the actions for you.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And worth remembering, we get a bonus 1 dot in perform influencer sight. Each of us does as part of our.
Okay, then I will stick with Muckraker. I gotta say, I'm reading the parabotany, like just section in professional skills, and I'm so fucking drawn to it, even though it has nothing to do with me. But my character could just have like an academic affinity for it, just like this is the thing that I trawl Wikipedia for when I can't sleep at night, and I'm really annoying about it. I kind of like that because it's really cool. The parabotany and parazoology, for those of you who are watching the stream, are really cool professional skills. But like as someone who works in botanical knowledge, like in my day-to-day life, the way that it draws on like naturalist knowledge and skill is really, really cool, Cass. I love the imagination that's written into the mechanics in this section. And I want to use it, even though it has nothing to do with social power.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know that like player to GM, it's awesome. And I hope I get an opportunity to like work it in somehow.
It is so cool when there's so many neat parts of a game. You're like, I need to do that and that and that.
Yeah.
And
yeah, this is awesome. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a nerd for plants in this game.
Plant nerd.
Plant nerd.
One thing I was going to say about sight, because it's a little bit of a different action for people who are familiar with blades or not, your actions become more effective when you tap into certain factors. And in this world, they're all based around types of power. So one is relevance, which is social power, but another one is expertise, so sort of expert power. So sight can be useful because you can be like, oh, I totally studied this. Let me use sight to see how well I remember it. And that helps sort of improve other people's roles because you're the expert. The last one will probably tie into Sean a lot because it's press, which is about kind of coercive power. So that could be like literal violence, or it could be like taking advantage of someone's sort of like social insecurity, but it's kind of that like pressing down with your action to make them back off.
Oh man, Sean, we could tag team making someone feel really, really bad.
Oh,
too real.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I like seeing this group. It's like you two are going to sit there and, you know, make this person feel terrible and intimidated while Craig zips over the wall and Brian hides that any of this ever happened.
Right. Hides off in the feed.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So the next step, because it sounds like you guys all got your builds, is then you add, let's see, 4 additional action dots. You can put these in any actions as long as nothing exceeds 2 dots. There's those 3 actions that are suggested in the build, so you could use those, or you could pick any other actions.
Oh, so we get 4 dots any way we want, and the 3 that are in the build are suggestions. It's not. We don't have a total of 7. Is that correct?
You do have a total of 7. So the first 3 in the build with the numbers are like dictated.
Oh, okay. Got
But
it.
then at the end of the list, it says additional actions and lists 3 different ones. Those are kind of like suggestions if you don't know what to decide or you want to keep it really close to the build.
Right.
But those last 4 you can also just customize however you want.
Sweet.
I'm sorry, where are we seeing this? In the archetype?
So you're muckraker. So the additional actions, it says analyze, cite, or mingle.
Uh-huh.
So you have
Okay.
4 more dots. You can put them in those actions or in any other ones.
Got it. And in the template, the docs are distributed. Okay, here we go. Okay, under Cortex. Analyze site. Okay, and mingle. Okay, cool.
So like the shorthand is you should have 7 of those dots invested by the end.
Okay. So I'm just gonna put 1 in each of the ones that was listed. Is that right? Let's see, mingle.
So let me pull up. So yours for the Muckrakers, it says 2 in influence and 1 in perform.
Okay.
Right. Those are the ones you
Cool.
have to take. And
Got
then-
it. Cool.
And then if you want to do the suggested, you had analyze, cite, and mingle.
And mingle, yeah.
And then that'd leave you a dot to put wherever you
1
want.
dot, yeah.
What was the action that you said included pressing people to do things? Was that influence?
Yeah, influence is about, it always involves trying to get someone to do something you want.
Got it.
Yeah.
The dots, is there a cap to how far they can go for a certain character?
2.
2.
2. Okay.
Mhm.
And then remember, after we have the 7, we'll also add 1 more to perform, influence, or cite. So we'll have a total of 8 by the end because of our team ability.
Y'all, if I have 2 in influence right now, and if it's spend 1 stress for my special ability, if it's spend 1 stress to use an ego action in place of assault, if I put 3 in influence, does that just mean it's really easy for me to get people to do what I want them to by being mean?
You are so excited about this, Gian.
It's like so baffling to me because it's the literal opposite of what I have to do most of the time. So it's like really stretching my toolkit, I guess.
So each dot equals a die you get. So when you'd roll influence right now, you get 2 dice. So
And
the
I would
only
get-
limit for you is you can't start with better than 2 in any action.
Got it. Better than 2 in any action.
Does the
Okay.
team bonus let us? I know in Blades, the team bonus lets you circumvent that. Are we still capped at 2 even with that?
Yeah, since you guys took it as a special, yeah, you can do 3.
All right. So theoretically, Gian, you could get up to 3 influence by taking your 2 and then using the bonus 1 from the team.
Got it. Yeah. Theoretically. If we really needed it for some reason.
Just say.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What does Intuit do?
So Intuit is, let me see. I'm actually looking because I spent time like thinking of how I wanted to write it, and on the spot
Totally.
I'm less eloquent. So it's about perceiving the world through intuition and instinct. So noticing changes, emotions, intentions, reading a person. So one of the things is because the source is in all things, everybody can seek the source and you use Intuit. But it's kind of a sympathetic magic. So you have to have something that you're linking to what you want to know.
Got it.
So like if you wanted to find another person, you could focus on the fact you're breathing and they must be breathing, and then sort of seek the source to see if you can find out where they are. If you're not a magic soul, you won't get as much detailed information, but it is a way to kind of tap into the source for everybody.
Yeah, I'm kind of into that for the broker, like using kind of gut feeling to know how to lean a social interaction. But I'm wondering if I should load up a different action that I already have a point in. If that would be more useful. Let me get this one.
Spreading out has several advantages.
Okay.
Because, they may or may not come up, but like it's fun to be able to try a bunch of like you can do something even if you have no dots in it, but it's having like a couple things you've got 1 and a couple things you've got 2 in is I think
Okay.
is
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah, I'll try it. Why not?
So after you do that, we're going to kind of go into some of the more character like bio stuff.
Sure.
So this will be a big one for you guys because you picked heritage as a relevance factor. And so I'll try to like briefly summarize the 6 heritages. Is it 6, 5? 5, cool. Is how your family initially dealt with sort of the quarantine. So the adjudicators basically helped the overseers, went along with the quarantine, kind of signed away some of the multi-corps' rights, the original colonists. And so they were detested and there were assassination attempts. So pretty much most of them fled and joined the peacekeepers, which is kind of the military arm of the overseers for protection. So they're in this society, they're a higher relevance because they're favored by the overseers, but then other people might dislike you if they find that out about you, like other planet-born, because they're kind of seen as the betrayers.
Hmm.
The unregistered are basically planet-born who saw that the quarantine was targeting them, and so they created new identities and gave up any membership to the multi-corps. And so they appear like they're off-worlders, basically, and kind of portray themselves as off-worlders to avoid the overseer's special attention. Because I guess like world-wise, just to kind of give context, the multi-corps are the one who created the blood fever that killed a bunch of people. So now in the present day, they're seen as kind of dangerous and uneducated and reckless. Sponsored means that your family kept close ties with the multi-corps, and each multi-corps used to own a colony. When the overseers came, they were reduced to one estate, so kind of a limited influence. So if you're sponsored, you stayed on that estate. You're very connected to like the executive council of your multi-corps. So you have resources, but a lot of people see them as corrupt and think they've sort of sold out for their own self-interest.
I mean, they have, right?
And legacy, you're officially registered with your multi-corps sponsor, but you're a part of the planet-born that got relocated to the fabrication district because all that technology was destroyed. So there's just this open space. So they sort of crammed everyone in there. And so you've been the focus of a lot of the harsher quarantine policies. And then fugitive, like it says, at some point your family kind of rebelled and has a fugitive status and is sort of hiding out and refusing to accept. So adjudicators and unregistered are considered relevant in the society because they basically aren't seen as planet-born. Any of the 3 heritages plus then fugitive are seen as irrelevant because they're kind of those planet-born who can't be trusted, or you're a fugitive who can't be trusted.
Nice. So I'll make sure I got it right. If you were someone whose family was pushed out from the central areas, and you are now basically effectively like serfs to the corpse, that's sponsored?
That'd be legacy.
That'd be legacy. Okay.
Yeah, sponsored are still kind of on the nice protected estate with some political power with the overseers, but you're still seen as like the corporation who started the plague, so they still don't consider you relevant.
All right, I'm gonna go with legacy. I think my family has been kicked to the curb several times. Like, oh, you got kicked out to the less nice area. Oh, you got kicked out to the lesser nice area. I think we've had to relocate a bunch of times as like jobs have become available and housing has gotten more expensive and all these other like shitty socioeconomic factors have worked against us.
Yeah.
Pick that too, yeah. Sounds cool.
Laurel says, I think I'm legacy on Planet Nerd.
What's that person's name? Laurel?
Yeah, Kona Hart is Laurel.
Yeah, they delivered quite the zinger in chat. Did you see the just read about the xenoplant that grows in shit? Reminds me of you. I'm just like, oh fuck. man, I got someone to learn from. All right. I wonder how. I wonder if it would be interesting to play someone with like more tension in being planet-born, or more tension in being associated with, even if I am planet-born, like associated with off-worlders.
Mm-hmm.
This is really interesting.
Mechanically, something to know.
Yeah.
And there'll be 2 more relevance factors that you guys will kind of pick. But the higher your relevance, the fewer stress boxes you get.
Oh,
And
okay.
so because you're more relevant, you have just kind of often better effect when you do things, but you're not as good at handling stress. And that'll come up when you want to resist consequences.
Right.
It'll take stress, or some of your special abilities might take stress. So that's something also to know.
Yeah.
Right. I think I'm going to be relevance 2 based on what we've talked about. I'm non-magical, so that's one relevance. I'm from a legacy heritage, which is not as a relevance, and I think I've got credentials. My basic template came with 2 in engineering and 1 in operate. Like, I think I've got notable cyber and like technology skills, and I think I've tested into those. Going.
Where are you seeing like the engineering ability and things like that?
It's one
in
of
your
the
template.
It's just one of the ones that was. It's one of the actions.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like it's in the Cortex section.
Got it. Okay. That's what you're saying. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So it feels to me like I think I'm relevance 2. Is that correct, Cass? That we just sort of look at our characters and determine which of these relevant factors we have?
Yeah, so that'll be in 2 steps, but you can also kind of skip to it because it's natural to come up. Is you'll pick your relevance markers, and then mark what your total relevance is. And you pick. So unless it's something like magic, which is set by your soul, then you kind of get to pick where you are in the social hierarchy.
Cool. Craig and Brian, what are you leaning towards for your heritages?
Since my guy has some sort of magical abilities, I'm going with, I think, sponsored would kind of fit it. Like,
oh yeah,
maybe in some way they're related to like the overseers in a way, but maybe that type of magic is not as glamorous as the other kinds. Self-induced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went with sponsored as well.
Cool.
Something to think about for you 2 then is whether or not you belong to the same multi-core, because then you'd be pretty closely related. Like, I mean, cousins or second cousins, but you definitely have that sense that like your family, or if you're from different multi-core, then that wouldn't be there.
I'm down to be family, Brian. Sounds cool.
Yeah, I'm up for it. Why not?
I like that.
And then once you have your heritage, you just fill out your label. And this is basically what people's first impression is of you. So this is somewhat like the physical description, but it can also be kind of how people perceive you. So for example, if someone looks at you, do they immediately think that you're part of the multi-core? Like, do you wear your family colors or fashion or whatever? Or do you kind of disguise yourself as an off-worlder? So you can look at physical attributes, but also like clothing, just overall what people's impression is when they see you.
If I have to spend a stress to use an ego action for my special ability, then having as much stress as possible seems to make the most sense. Is that more or less right? Am I understanding that correctly?
It's definitely helpful.
Okay. And the lower the relevance is, the more stress points you get.
Correct.
Got it. Damn, I might go for fugitive in that case.
Well, any of the legacy, sponsored,
yeah,
or fugitive are all low
relevance.
They're, even though there's technically like within society that certainly like some of those are more privileged than others, they're all still considered zero relevance for
Sure. Yeah.
or low relevance for, as long as you don't go unaffiliated, or what was the, darn it, I had it up a second.
Unregistered?
Unregistered or
Yeah.
or
Adjudicated. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was interested in unregistered initially because that would provide some interesting like backstory context potentially for like why I'm able to like blend into different social situations really smoothly. But I want those stress points.
I mean, follow your dreams, right? Get them stress points.
Yeah.
You can have it, if you want 7 stress. What was it? Oh, character creation summary. You can have if you have 0 relevance, you get 9 stress. Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's a lot.
it's a lot of
It's a
stress.
lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, so but that also means you're magical. And I don't know that.
Right. That's true. Yeah. And
So-
I don't have magic. I just like magic.
Yeah.
I want magic, but I don't have it.
So after you write down your label, we've kind of gotten into it. The next is to look at what your relevance markers are and then kind of put the total, and based on that, you'll modify. If anyone is gonna, once people are modifying, one thing to know is you change how many stress boxes you have by that gear in the top right. If you click on it,
Cool.
the second line is number of stress boxes, and oh, that font is really hard to read. Sorry about that. But
All
you can
good.
pick how many you have, and it should just automatically change it for you.
Cool.
Talk to us about these jaded instincts, Cass.
So as you get overly stressed, you kind of, and once you max out your stress, you gain a jaded instinct. You get kind of tougher and jaded and less idealistic.
Yeah.
But if you're higher relevance, you're already a little jaded when you start the game, because you've already kind of seen what the upper classes kind of do to people. And so there's a list that you pick, like what kind of jaded instinct you've gotten. And there is the advantage that if you start with them, you get XP if you roleplay them. But you can only, once you get your 4th jaded instinct, your character either has to retire because they're kind of without ideals and hope at that point, or there's an anti-hero playbook that you can switch over to.
Damn.
So you come
That's
back as
cool.
This game has depths.
That's cool.
Well, I'm extra happy about having relevance too, because that means I can start with a jaded instinct, and I'm like excited about all of them. Censor, you should judge, criticize, and repress those who disagree with you.
What page are you seeing? What page number are you
I'm
seeing?
on the character creation summary.
Okay. The
So,
handout. Can you pop that up for me, Cass? Because I'm not seeing it in the PDFs I have.
So it'll be in the Roll20 main screen.
Cool. Oh, okay. I didn't see it there. My bad.
And under number 8, it lists the different jaded instincts that you can get.
Got it. Cool. Okay.
And then one thing, and you guys can totally ignore this for now because it doesn't happen at character creation, but the first time in play you get overstressed and get jaded, you actually develop an attitude. And that attitude has a specific power.
That's
of
amazing.
course it does.
Yeah, so you can, I think one of them Brian had was if you roll an action with 0 dots, you can regain stress. So they're all kind of risky things when you indulge your attitude.
Yeah, that one was a good combo for the 3 relevance character because I was like completely out of stress all the time. And the only way to get back was to be terrible at things. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Okay.
And then your friends with more stress have to step in and protect you from consequences.
Or my bunny.
Or your bunny. I forgot about the bunny.
I'm like not okay. I'm not seeing where each heritage calculates into your relevance markers. Review the 3 relevance markers your group shows.
The 3 relevance markers are heritage, and so
Right.
are heritage, credentials, and magic. So you're not magical, so that gives you 1 relevance.
I see. Okay, cool.
You decide whether or not you have credentials, and since you decided, and if you're an adjudicator or you're unregistered, you get relevance for that. If
For
you're
that, yeah.
sponsored, legacy, or fugitive, you don't.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. Thank you.
No worries.
Would I be credentialed? Would being credentialed get me more mobility?
I mean, it could be, and you can pick like what your exams are in that you've been credentialed in. So, you know, if you pick like, yes, I'm a credentialed driver, or I'm a credentialed, you know, customer, you know, quality assurance, like you can pick what every job you kind of have to get credentialed in, except for the most menial ones.
Sure.
So you can just kind of pick, this is what I'm credentialed in. And that'll give you extra relevance. And
that seems like something my character would probably do. Sorry, I feel like I might have interrupted you.
No.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, in that case, I would have 2 relevance because there's a credential and then not having magic. So that's 6 stress total and 1 jaded instinct.
Yeah,
Cool.
so for you want to go to the little gear and click on it, and then the second line is stress, and you want to pick 6 from that, and then you can just close the gear.
Cool. The little gear.
It's in the upper right-hand corner of the character sheet itself.
Yes.
Mhm.
The problem is there's lots of upper right-hand corners with little gears in them.
Yeah.
That can get embedded.
Oh, okay. I did that manually, I'm realizing. Okay, cool. And then I choose the jaded instinct.
Correct.
I also have relevance too, and I'm taking the jaded instinct of censor because I feel like it was going to go very well with my desire to use honesty and rampage. It's like, that's bullshit. You're dumb. That's stupid. Go away.
Yeah, I was looking at that or exploit, because like I think my character at their best can see people's insecurities and like kind of make them feel good about themselves as a way of like getting in. But like the shortcut that I tried not to use, but I can, is to just like ram on it. And like that, but that's not like something I want to do. It doesn't like, that's not how I live my values. So yeah.
Right. Jaded instincts aren't our best selves, right? Like
they are not our best selves. No. Yeah, for sure. And I feel like also exploit really complements censor. So as long as we're like the mean girl tag team here, like that, that works pretty well.
So you will write for those who are struggling on the character sheet, the relevance markers are like the second line, so you can just write what your markers are and the total relevance there.
Cool. Brian and Craig, what do you get? What are you picking for relevance?
Well, you go, Brian, first.
Oh, 2. That's me.
Yeah, I picked 1 magic sponsored credential.
Cool. And Ryan, are you non-magic sponsored credential? Cool. So we're all
credential.
Right. So we're all credentialed. So that's something worth.
Yeah, that's
like an identity of our team, is that like all of us are certified to do our job, which I think like gives us additional. I mean, it gives us privilege in the setting for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it also like is kind of like part of our definition. Like we're all professionals. We're all like registered, tested professionals at our various.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where on the sheet do you note credentials, or do you just know that you're
on the relevance markers? So in sort of the top left is where you write in more of the like bio stuff, and you can write it there. And I mean, it makes sense too, since your safe house is a capsule tower, that you're all credentialed, because you're in a little more of like sort of the established residence area.
For sure, yeah.
So the next step is you choose your rebellion, And so this is when you want to decrease stress, you kind of more overtly rebel against something that really bothers you about the system or society. So there's a list of those there. And these are kind of like when in your downtime, when you want to decrease stress, how do you like go back and sort of rebel and fight back?
Hmm.
I'm going to choose consumption, which is and let me know if this is messing with October, your visual artistry. But I have the idea of like these fat cats steal all the, the energy, the resources, whatnot, and like hacking into their feeds, whatnot, and like siphoning energy off to, I think like the equivalent of a like drive up movie theater / rave, like just gratuitous like siphoning of power to throw parties. I don't know if that as a visual artist, I don't know if that was something that would you'd be into, but I imagine like rewiring their stuff and like stealing resources for gratuitous things. Like these are not necessary, but
yeah, I'm into it.
Cool. Thanks, Agent Midnight. It's been awesome having you in chat.
Once you pick your rebellion, you choose your personal code.
Mhm.
And so you just rebel in general during downtime, but also when you're throughout play, your personal code is sort of like a way that you represent this on a regular basis. And it's a pretty extreme statement. So it's kind of framed, if blank happens, then I will always blank. And
Okay.
I'm going to pop, there's a list of examples that you can just take outright or kind of use to inspire yourself. So the thing about this is if you follow this personal code, you get XP, but if you go against it, then you get what's called a sellout point, and you can use that at any time to add a die to your roll.
Yeah. Okay. Whoa, that's potentially real fucked up. I chose injustice as just like to start somewhere. And like the third bullet point, if someone is accused of bad behavior, I will always insist on proof before I believe it. Could be real good, could be real bad.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be so inconvenient for us and potentially very fun as a role-playing thing.
Yeah.
That one for sure. Also, if I see someone persecuted unfairly, I will always bring attention to the event.
That's rough. Doing work in communities, I can say that when someone is accused of bad behavior, insisting on proof is a difficult thing to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, these are kind of like your zealot approach to what you believe in.
Yeah.
One of the nice things about some of the more extreme ones is every time you're like, no, I'm not going to follow that, you get a sellout point for extra dice.
Yeah.
Oh damn, I'm kind of into this one. For fight apathy, if someone acts selfishly, I will always intimidate them into helping others.
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
Like some of these triggers are much more likely to come up than others as well. Like if I witness someone being coerced or pressured, I guess that's likely. If I see corporate brands, I will destroy them. Oh God.
Oh my God. I'm just imagining that person just moving through like modern day America and just seeing like another logo and just being like,
Fuck it.
And then bringing the spray paint out.
Yeah, exactly.
Really.
Especially since you basically live in a corporate brand.
Right. It's just nonstop graffiti artistry, right? Like it's vandalism constantly. But maybe it's your art. I really feel like Locker is the name of my character. I feel like Locker, like if someone gives me an order, I will always question their reasoning. Is like a very like obnoxious like player behavior. Why?
Yeah.
For but I feel like it's like I feel like there's a really asinine way to do it. It's like, well, that's stupid. And there's also that like just genuine curiosity of like,
Yeah.
tell me more about this. So it seems like a kind of a like a rude player behavior, but now that I'm writing it down, I feel justified in saying it like this is my code. It's not just
Totally.
being a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that one's almost a little bit Spock-like in like, well, what is your reasoning? You can always go that way.
Destroy the brand.
Logical.
Man, the potential for interpretation dependent on my character's like kind of weariness or like fatigue under fight apathy for if someone acts selfishly, I will always intimidate them into helping others is really appealing because like at my best with all like very well resourced, like it's easy to measure like are they acting selfishly or is that kind of like my interpretation? But like the more tired and maybe even the more jaded I get, like I see potential for real misunderstanding, which is very appealing to me as the role player. I also don't want to like fuck over our team by being like a hothead.
Do not worry about fucking over our team.
Cool. Okay. That actually is helpful.
I think you should do the thing that like makes you exciting. That's my take.
Okay, cool.
I think that's one of the nice things about using script change is once we're actually role playing, if you ever want to check in, you can always be like, hey, let's pause. Like, are people okay with this?
For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So after you define your personal code, the kind of last main step is you start with 3 contacts. And so there are, by your soul, there's kind of a list of examples for you to like pick those. If you want, you can make up your own. And
by influence from chat, I'm switching my personal code. Thank you, Laura. I'm going to the brand's destruction. I see corporate brands.
Nice.
I will destroy them.
Nice.
I have ideas for it. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to.
well, you rampage against the brands.
Exactly. It fits. It works.
So when you pick a contact, you can just paste them in to your character sheet, the character template. It's on the, I think, bottom right side. And so you pick one that you have a negative relationship with, and so that's 2 arrows down. One you have a positive relationship with, that's 2 arrows up. And then a third contact that it's a neutral relationship. And you'll be able to change these relationships as you play. But when you have positive relationships with someone, you can basically get roles for different things that I won't go over right now just because it's a lot of information overload. But then people you have a negative relationship is the GM, I get to roll them taking certain actions kind of against you.
Okay. 3 initial contacts.
And once you finish that, the very last step is to pick your character's name and pronouns.
Cool. Where am I putting those contacts? Into the broker template?
Yes. So broker template, you'll probably need to scroll down a little bit.
To soul
It's
discipline?
under, so on the far right, there's your actions,
Right.
and then bonus dice, and then contacts.
Bonus dice and contacts. Okay. Actions. Bonus dice. Aha. There we go. Um. Ooh. These are great. Lamont.
Kid Chillin,
Chill.
B-list rapper.
Oh fuck! I love that it's a B-list rapper. That's so
Yep.
good. What a great detail.
Kid Chillin's my 2-up.
You have to. You have to.
If I'm stealing power to have raves, we gotta have Kid Chillin there. Dropping the Def Jams.
So it's 2 up, 1 down.
One character has 2 up, one character has 2 down,
Okay,
and then one character is totally neutral.
got it. Cool.
And one of the ways you'll use these is when you roll your contact, your dice pool is equal to the relationship. So, like if you have 2 up, you have 2 bonds with them, and you'd roll 2 dice. And if you get a 1 to 3, the relationship, I think actually 1 to 3 or a 4 to 5, the relationship gets worse. So that's
Oh.
one way they can like dynamically change as you play.
Got it.
You'll be able to resist that consequence, but like all other consequences, it will take stress.
Interesting.
And if you have negative relationship with them, do you also roll that dice when you're interacting with them, or do you roll those dice when you're having to mess with us?
I'll roll them when I have them mess with you.
Nice.
What is in this world? Because I'm looking at Elka, a covert agent. What is a covert agent's like role in this world?
It would depend. You could kind of pick what faction she might be involved with, but it might be, for example, like corporate espionage could be one where she's
Mm.
like implanted in another faction, sort of spying on them.
Sure.
She could be a peacekeeper who's undercover investigating one of the criminal factions. So it's kind of she's just planted somewhere doing something different than her persona.
Yeah.
And that's also something you wouldn't have to necessarily pick until you decide to use her. So you could just be
Sure.
like, oh, she's a covert agent. I'll decide when it comes up.
Yeah.
Right.
I've decided Blandis is my dad, who is a future car dealer.
Blandis is a future what dealer?
Car, like vroom vroom.
Is that how
Nice.
you got your flashy vehicle?
Of course, I stole it.
Ah, nice. So what's your relationship with Blandis? Is that the up or the down?
It's an up.
Okay.
He's
He's
not
okay.
just like me.
I like that you picked Bizface just because I love saying that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I pretty much picked my my contacts based on the ones that jumped out of the list. I was like, I want Kid Chillin. I don't know what Kid Chillin has to do with my character. I'm
You
gonna
just
write
want them.
Bizface.
Yeah.
Yep, Bizface
Yep.
is definitely.
I
Yeah,
chose Yvonne, who is a judge, as my 2 down.
nice.
Yeah. I figure that's like the slow burn.
Yeah. It's always fun because these characters are clearly of like different social status, and so you could
Totally.
like pick like a powerful person as a friend and a weak person as an enemy. But it's so much fun to go the other way around.
Yeah.
I want powerful enemies. And you,
I also, yeah, I kind of feel like within this world, if you're not making enemies with the justice system, then you're probably doing something wrong on a moral level. So,
yeah.
it's fine.
I took Basil, a border patrol officer, as my neutral because
Neutral, yeah.
Basil is somebody that I know, and like we've crossed the borders bunches of times, and we're
Totally.
familiar. But I feel like it's a little bit like that, like the coyote and the
Yeah.
sheepdog. Like we
Yeah,
both like
yeah.
punch our cards. Like I know you know me.
You know me. Yeah, for similar reasons, I took Sujay, a security mechanic, as my neutral.
Yeah. Nice.
I wonder. I'm gonna choose an activist as my up. Just
Cool.
I might come back to that.
Well, and that was the template that you were kind of thinking about before going.
Yeah, actually, I'm like, let me go with occult investigator. What the fuck? What does that mean?
Much good stuff.
That's cool. I'm gonna pick that just on the basis of I think that sounds cool. That's my 2 up. There we go.
Nice.
Neat. Also, I'm noticing that people's character sheets are showing up on the character like drop-down menu. Is mine also showing? Are like the things I'm picking showing up under broker template, or do I need to like manually put it in there? They are? Okay.
We can see
Cool,
your.
cool, cool.
And in fact,
Awesome.
if you want to edit it and rename it to be your
Yeah.
character name, then we'll see it instead of broker template. We'll see it as.
Got it. And how do I edit that? Oh,
that is the one thing that you actually click the edit button for.
so awesome. I guess I should choose a name.
Everything else is in the sheet itself.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Oh shit. Did I close it by accident? Oh, all right. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Name and pronouns. Zephyr. Locker is such a good name for the cyborg.
Yep. Thank you.
Perfect in every way.
Yeah, I'm digging these. I also like Zephyr for our very flowy mystic.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna Google something really quick.
All right. So that is the creation process.
Awesome.
And as we kind of got into, there's a lot that goes into it. So you have pretty fleshed out ideas of the world and the characters and some of the conflicts. Kind of by the time you hit the end of it.
Yeah. I have one question about character creation. Do we have is picking a professional skill something that we do as well, or is that something that happens later on down the line?
So that happens later. What professional skills are is during downtime, which is one of the phases of the game. One of the steps is called day job, and this is kind of like how you sort of make your living. And each soul has up to 3 professional skills you can get. And you have to spend favors. There aren't like cred or money in this because it's all about sort of your social connections to unlock the professional skill.
Okay.
And then once you sort of, because it helps you like get the supplies you need and sort of get established in it. And then once you've done that, you can use it each downtime.
Nice. Cool. Awesome.
Cool.
Well, that's timing wise. I just about the end of the session.
Yeah. Let's go with Juno. Shit, that's like a little similar to my real name. No, it's fine.
Nice.
Change the preference. Cool. Cool. I'm really excited.
Yeah. So, chat, thanks for hanging out with us for World and Character Creation. We talked during the break, and we are going to be coming back to actually play this game. to cause some trouble. So we don't know when yet. We're going to figure that out offline, but we will be back and play some of this game. Cass, do you want to say anything about the game or anything else that we should know before we do our sort of our sign off?
I guess the main thing for people to know is the public version right now is version 4.1, which doesn't have the setting we're playing in. That's version 5. And so I'm working on that, finishing that up. If you go to my website, there's a contact place. And if you subscribe to like the newsletter, then you get links to the more in progress rules, which we're using. And then hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'll make this version public. So if you want to play the game, you might be a little surprised if you just go to the PDF because it's missing this setting, but it has more detailed rules to create your own setting if you want to get started on that as well.
It is good stuff. I had the link a second ago. I will find it, put it in. Cool. Well, thanks everybody for making these rad characters and this very cool world that they are part of. Why don't we do a little shout outs and let everybody know what you're up to, what you're excited about, all that stuff. Ryan, we want to kick us off?
Yeah, thanks for watching. Lots of fun making characters. What I'm up to is my job, which you can support me at if you are my boss and you are watching, in which case, hi. Yeah, I'm real hyped to play the character. I like who I made and I'm excited to show all of you.
Very cool. Craig, you want to tell us
As
your
far as
stuff?
up to, nothing too much right now. But I'm as Brian said, I'm very excited about this setting. I think that 3 hours of world building and character building is not a waste. This was incredibly in depth and sort of alive for like a world that was just created. So I'm very excited to see what all you players also bring to it, the life you breathe into it, for sure.
Nice. How about you, Gian?
I actually have a bunch of projects going on right now. I'll try to be as pithy as possible. So all of the like references I was making to like working in the natural world and working with land skills. I work, my day job is teaching land skills and traditional skills and survival skills through an organization called Trackers Bay, which is a subsidiary of Trackers Earth. Is it cool if I throw links up in the chat, Sean?
I'm about to. I just.
Oh, okay, great.
But
great.
yes, absolutely. It's cool.
Yeah, we teach outdoor skills to pretty much anybody, but primarily kids, which is rad. That's where I get almost all my naturalist knowledge. And to that end, I'm also going to be pretty active on a Twitch stream that I literally just made. And every Monday I'll be doing something called Skillshare with Gian, where it's like Bob Ross, but for survival skills and land skills. And I'll just be working something on camera. And the Twitch name is just my name, which is the same as my Twitter feed, which is where I aggregate like all the projects that I'm working on and like announce them. I know it's ephemeral, but everyone's on Twitter and I'm pretty active on it. And I think, and I have a Patreon as well for like little glimpses into kind of like the wilderness work, but also how it relates to game design, because I also write a lot of LARPs that are designed to connect people with the natural world to sort of bridge the gap between kind of modern alienation from nature and the world at large. So that's what I do.
Nice. I put links to all that stuff.
Awesome. Yeah.
Hence why I was playing as we were designing this game. I was like, this is so Gion's.
Yeah, that's the thing is I was like reading through the playbook. I'm like, holy crap, this is so beautifully imagined and like has so much potential to like get people thinking about the outdoors, get people thinking about like how they connect to nature and thinking about how their particular brand of like proto-fascist dystopia that they may or may not be living in or isn't divorced from like themes like environmental justice, which is really relevant right now with everything happening with climate change and climate justice. It's an amazing world. I'm so excited to play in it.
Me too. How about you, Cass? What are you up to? What do you plan to do?
Yeah, so you can follow me at the Twitter or the website we linked at. I post updates for the game and regularly post blogs. Basically, whenever I have the energy and an idea that I want to get out. So I've done some blogs on accessible layout for people with dyslexia and tabletop role-playing games, because it's something I care a lot about. Also just kind of different design blogs, some psychology blogs, all that. And then the other thing is, since we're going to be continuing, I'm probably going to stream the GM side. There's a lot of things built into the game to help the GM create the campaign and the narrative and sort of the faction stuff behind that. So if you follow me on Twitter, that's probably where I'll post when I have a day and time that I'll start working on that.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
I'm Sean Nittner. You can find me here on Actual Play. Coming up, maybe as soon as this Sunday, but if not this Sunday, a Sunday very soon, we're going to be playing Wolfspell with Epi Ravachol, who's the creator, as well as several other rad people. We're going to be doing it like Sunday Morning Swords. It's going to be, I was hoping for Tuesday night or Wednesday night Wolves, but nights did not work out. So we're gonna stick with the Sunday morning and have some Sunday morning games of Wolfspell. If Judd's still around, I'm going to wrangle him into playing more one-on-one Burning Wheel with me. Should be good times. And when not here, over on DC's channel playing Mutants of the Night. So lots of games. I'm very excited about all of them. And this will be up on the VODs, and I'm excited to play more of it soon. So thanks everybody for hanging out.
Yeah,
And,
thank you guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
see you in a little while.
I'm so excited.
Not at all.